So Eclipse, it was Lupita was in it actually.
Okay.
But this was a few years ago. That production was the second, and For Color Girls Revival will be the third. So I'm excited to be part of this history. Celebrating Black excellence, Black identity, women empowerment. Which needs to be seen more on Broadway. So.
Okay. I mean, because wasn't I guess it's been all Black plays in musicals on Broadway, but not an all Black woman play, basically. Not that many, you're saying, basically.
Not an all Black female cast.
Got you. Okay.
Right.
So that's like, ain't your arms too short to box with God? I thought that was one, but I was thinking all Black cast, period.
Yeah, all black female cast.
This is dope. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's go back even with your other plays in musicals. What is your fondest one that you've been a part of? You like, man, like this one meant a lot to me to be a part of this production.
Man, there's so many, but I will say making my Metropolitan Opera debut in Porgy and Bess. I have this thing, like I really center like my creative platform on like amplifying the narrative of Black culture, Black identity. Mm-hmm. Like feels good to me. And a lot of times I have to admit in the industry, there's not always space for that. And if there is, we're fighting for it. So I'm very proud of being part of productions where it's like, I get to tell the story of my ancestors, So definitely the Metropolitan Opera debut of Porgy and Bess. And another thing, is special because only one time in the Met's history, which was Porgy and Bess back in, I want to say it was even before I was born.
Yeah, it's the 70s.
30 years that Porgy and Bess was debuted at, the Metropolitan Opera House. The Metropolitan Opera House is the largest, most prestigious opera house or just venue in the world. And only one time, over 30 years ago, did they have, a Black cast on their stage that featured, Black identity.
Is this in Sydney? This is in Sydney, or is this one in Sydney?
No, it's in New York City.
It's in New York. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So they brought it back for the 2019-2020 season. And that was such a beautiful experience. It was like over 60 people on stage, and it just the voices of these, beautiful, classically trained, singers, and most of them making their Metropolitan Opera debut as well because of racism, because you know what I'm saying? It's just like
that's racism, right.
No, literally, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, we're only gonna pick a select few principals to come to our opera house. But but Porgy and Bess, if you're not familiar with this,
that's the one that Sidney Poitier,
that's right,
Dorothy Dandridge, Sammy Davis Jr.
In the movie, yeah. Mm-hmm. But yes, it was created by the Gershwin brothers. They are pretty well known as far as like being composers and all of that, but they're actually white men who created this musical or this opera. However, they were very adamant that going forward, as its original cast, it will only hire Black African American actors, singers to portray it.
Yeah.
So that has been great. But yeah, so doing that was really amazing because, it's, that t-shirt to say that I am my ancestors' wildest dreams, mm-hmm. It's just when you get a chance to be in a place and do something that, before wasn't an opportunity, you have to honor that. You have to thank the ancestors before you for paving the way, and I do that all the time. Like, being in the positions that I am, it's not, I didn't just do it because I was able to, it's because those before me paved the way to make a space for me to live my dreams. So, when I'm able to do things like that, that's great. I also loved, I did a movie. I was in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I was one of the dancers, and, that was really special, first and foremost, because again, Black excellence,
Yep. August Wilson.
Producer, this is August Wilson's work. Viola Davis is starring it, the late Chadwick Boseman, was extraordinary. And also George C. Wolfe, who is just an amazing director, to be in that space. And again, Camille Brown, I worked with her because she was the choreographer for it. But being in that space again of like telling Black stories, being around Black excellence, that's just outstanding. And that movie was like so moving, and it was heartbreaking at the same time, because what Chadwick presented, and Levy was insane. You know what I mean? Like, and also to know that that was his last movie, right before he passed. And just to know that I was a part of that experience with him, you know, that.
So did you get to meet everybody, or is it kind of like you? Okay.
No. I mean, it was, as you saw, it was a very intimate cast. It was literally, you know, the main characters and the 8 dancers. So it was a very, 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 very small cast. So it was a very intimate experience, and everyone was amazing and lovely and kind, and it was just, it felt home, you know. It felt home.
How was it being on that set of a basically a play converted into a movie? A lot of times, sometimes it gets lost in translation because plays a lot more exposition, things along those lines. How was that process with that you saw, going from it being a play, August Wilson play, to this film?
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as the process of like actually, you know, filming it still felt like a film. You know what I mean? And it was very efficient. I mean, a lot of times, if you don't know a lot about filming, it's like, you know, you can have multiple cameras going at the same time. You can have one. It just depends on the shot. But we were hitting it. You know, the takes were quick because, you know, of the efficiency of the camera people. But George C. Wolfe is amazing. Like he just knows theater. He knows the works, and he also knows film. He knows, you know. So he knows how to make this hybrid beautiful. The same with Denzel being the producer. Like Denzel and Viola, like they come from the theater. Like they theater. And you know, that's what makes them so profound. So they know what they know the authenticity that needs to be presented in this film that the theater world gets. So I think the team itself just knew how to take this play and make it still authentic and feel so vibrant, but also on the big screen having that magic, you know, that comes from film. So I think the story was told beautifully. I mean, but I think a lot of people who don't understand film, they're like, oh, they saw that a lot of the set was, or the location was the same. You know, but I think they did a brilliant job with you know, going inside that space to make it the dimensional feel that we want and desire.
Yeah, I mean, like people love the movie Birdman, you know, and that's all in the same space for the whole movie. And it's supposed to be one camera shot that's tracking through the whole film. So I don't see that being a, you know, issue for that film. I love the film, and Chadwick should have got the Oscar for it, but you know, that is what it is, you know.
Man,
racism.
Right. You know,
and that racism was real ill because they let that category be the last one. It was like, oh, so they're gonna do that to try to do the last category with Chadwick winning to go out, you know. And you present that it's usually best picture last.
Yeah, it's controversial. So I did read an article that was saying that even before, you know, Chadwick passing, that they were wanting to close with that because of the popularity, right? However, over time too, because of Chadwick passing and, you know, of course, his wife accepting the speech, and because when she speaks, we all listen and she shuts it down. You know, they were concerned that how do you proceed with other categories after that? So that's also one of the reasons why they left it there. That is what they're saying, you know. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. And look, the crazy thing is that Anthony Hopkins killed it in his film, though. So it's not like they gave it to you know, I mean, I'm not gonna say nobody and diss nobody, but anybody just random to get it.
Yeah, and you know, hey, whatever they thought, but you know, at the end of the day, Chadwick is my hero. He has many many people's heroes, and the way he literally threw himself in that role, you know, you can't walk away from it without feeling, right? And supposed to do with art, like I call it art activism. Like, you know, yes, you can, you know, we can be funny, we can be all these things, but when you're an artist, it's your job to like tell the stories that have not been told, tell the stories, tell the truths, you know, make people feel, make people think. And he did all of that. So he did his job. And again, he's my hero.
So let's transition a little bit. So now you become an author. So now you use the track star, then you go to you dancing, acting, and My Rainey's Black Bottle, and then you want to add on it being an author. So let's dive into this.
Yo, you know it. You make my life feel like it's just so amazing. And I'm gonna.
It is though. It is.
You know
That's
what?
why this whole show is about giving people their flowers for the dope stuff they're doing. And,
I'm gonna take it, but you know, sometimes it's hard to digest because it's not that easy, right?
right, and you're living it. So it's like,
yeah, I'm living it. I cry, I have attacks, I have anxiety attacks, you know, I feel unseen, unheard, you know, all of these things. But the way you present it, I just want to say thank you, because it is a reminder of like life is moving, and God has definitely showed me such grace and mercy and favor. But yes, an author. I still gag a little bit about that. So interesting, because in tandem with me being a performer, I want to say actually starting it in